You know, information given in court papers is not the same as information we get from a politician addressing a meeting. No, it's very different. Because you see, in court you're trying to win a case. In court, you don't give any information that you're not very sure about, that you do not have any evidence on. So whatever you see presented in court, especially in a court petition, like the presidential petition before the Supreme Court, you can be sure that that information is accurate. Or at the very least, it is based on something. It is never based on nothing. And therefore, the explosive news, the bombshell, that there were actually foreigners involved in the rigging of the 2022 presidential elections really shocked me. Actually, we are even given an exact number. 19 foreigners and 2 Kenyans were the brains behind the rigging of the presidential elections. That is according to the Azumio petition. Now, involvement of foreigners is normal in general elections, especially in Africa. Very normal, especially in resource-rich Africa, if you get what I'm trying to say. But in 2017, when on this channel I tried to discuss the participation, clandestine, chini ya maji, of powerful foreign governments in elections in Africa and in Kenya, many on this channel at the time just laughed me off. Impossible! Kenya is a sovereign country. Anyway, there is no law against being ignorant. And there's also no law against being kiherehere na mjuaji. Because when you're kiherehere and mjuaji, learning becomes impossible. It's very difficult to learn new things. Now, the immediate insinuation is that there may be some foreign governments who were so desperate, to get influence in Kenya that they assisted one of the candidates to rig the elections. That, of course, is a possibility. I'm not saying it happened, but it has to be a possibility. It is indeed the insinuation when you see foreigners involved. You see, there are some things that when you go and do in a foreign country, your government has to know. There is no way those things can be done without the knowledge, even if there's no complicity, without the knowledge of your home government. And please let us not be naive. A powerful foreign country which wants to interfere with the elections of a country will not use their own operatives. No. They'll not use their own technical people. No way. Because in all these operations outside the country, there is something that is very important. That foreign government involved in this very illegal interference on the affairs of another country must be in a position where if things go wrong, they can comfortably deny any involvement and nobody will have any evidence to prove otherwise. So you use operatives from another country. And a country like Venezuela, so far away, which is not even a well-known country amongst Kenyans, is perfect. And so, in a nutshell, this is a possibility we cannot rule out. However, we need to identify good reasons why some powerful nations in the world would be interested in a certain candidate in Kenya winning rather than another one. And let's stick to what we already know. That's the safest thing. We know that powerful Western administrations prefer leaders who can easily be swayed. Maybe they want to do something in that country. They need a leader who will quickly accept. They need a leader who is less interested in the development of his own people and more interested in their own selfish gain. Let me give you an example. In the country called Congo, in the 60s, the Congolese people chose a very famous man, a patriot, somebody who had the nation in his heart, somebody who loved his country so much. His name was Patrice Lumumba. But to cut a very long story short, the Americans decided that they would prefer a man called Mobutu Sese Seko. Now, during his long reign, President Mobutu, amassed a fortune that was more than huge. He benefited himself immensely. And he was an ally of the Western world, an ally of the United States of America. Bottom line, Mobutu was good for the national security interests of the United States. Patrice Lumumba was a no as far as the interests of the Americans were concerned in the Congo, where there are so many valuable minerals, including some which are vital to the United States. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything. I'm not accusing any foreign power. I'm just giving you information. Okay? Now, when we come to Kenya and our current situation, we know for a fact that a man called Raila Odinga has spent his entire life fighting for a better Kenya. And he has paid a huge price doing so. Long detention, injuries and health conditions that are still there with him today, all fighting for a better Kenya. He loves his country. He has the interests of Kenyans deep in his heart. Now, that kind of leader may not be very convenient to some Western powers. I'm not naming any. And therefore, these countries may be very interested in supporting somebody who can beat Raila Odinga in an election. These countries can be very interested in kucheza na uchaguzi chini ya maji on behalf of Raila's opponent. I'm sure you get my gist. Now, there's something very important I want us to take note of. And that is the fact that the intelligence communities from many different countries are always keenly aware of things that are happening in the country. Many times they are more informed than many Kenyans, actually than most Kenyans. And therefore, even if they are not directly involved, or even if they are not involved in something a foreign power is trying to do in Kenya, they will usually have the information. Now, if I can remind you, actually the US State Department, through its embassy, warned its citizens to stay away from Kisumu during the elections. And many Kenyans rubbished this intelligence information. Many analysts rubbished it. Kisumu is not a hotspot. These Americans must be wrong. And many of you on this channel remember that I did not have that view that most other Kenyans had, I took that warning very seriously. Because I understand a bit about the intelligence community, and I understand a bit about the American Intelligence Service and what they're capable of. Now, in retrospective, you can look back. What happened? Were the Americans right, or they were very wrong? They were right. Because after Wafula Chebukati announced William Samoei Ruto, there was a lot of tension in Luo Nyanza. There was a lot of tension in Kisumu. Indeed, at one point, it looked like Kondele in Kisumu, that usual trouble spot, the hot spot, was just igniting, ready for some very serious troubles. So, the Americans could see into the future. The Americans had some information. That should be very clear. Now, just a super fascinating aside here. We did not have any troubles, any serious troubles, after the announcement of William Samoei Ruto as president-elect. Of course, one of the main reasons was that our security boys were very well prepared. They had made some intricate, adequate security arrangements to ensure that there'd be no trouble. But still, as we have seen in the past, even with these arrangements, places like Kondele, if they are going to cause trouble, if they want to cause trouble, they can hardly be stopped. So the question we need to ask ourselves, a very important question, is what happened this time round that changed things, that maintained peace in Kisumu? Now, I'm very reliably informed that word went round that people should relax. Even after the election results that did not make sense, powerful forces passed the word round to those who usually cause trouble to relax, that this is not over. And super fascinating, this word started going round even before the election results were announced. Which means that apart from the Americans, there was a group of other people, Kenyans, who were able to foresee the future. They had that information. Now, this will appear very puzzling to you, but the answer is in my weekly intelligence briefings, number 83 and number 84. Highly sensitive stuff, but the answer is right there. And this is yet another confirmation that what I've been saying in my intelligence briefings must be correct. Now, before you go any further, UDA propaganda peddlers have been very busy confusing Kenyans. They're very good at that. And indeed, in one instance, they've done this by asking the following question. We are being told that 56 hackers rigged the presidential election. But now we are being told that foreigners, at least 19 foreigners, were involved in rigging the election. So which is which? Which is the correct version of what really happened? Very confusing. Actually, it's not. And let me explain it very briefly, in a Kenyan way, and very quickly, but still in a way you'll understand. The 56 hackers walikuwa watu wa mkono, right? And then these 19 foreigners and the 2 Kenyans were the masterminds. If you're doing something, they're the people who have the plan. And then they recruit others to assist in the implementation of that plan. So both stories are true. Both stories are accurate. They don't contradict each other in any way. For those who are taking time to look into this deeply, things are becoming more clearer by the day. Many things are making sense as the days go by. In this big mystery of what really happened on August 9th, 2022 and the days after. Now, foreign interference in an election is not a good thing, because foreign interference is never for the good of the people of the host country. No, it is always for the interests of that foreign country. The interests of that foreign country in the country where they're interfering with things, chini ya maji, of course, under the radar. And therefore all Kenyans must resist this, right across the political divide, whether in UDA or whether in Azimio. This is something that Kenyans must resist completely. Tukatae kabisa wageni kukuja hapa na kufanya mambo yao. You know, when foreigners attack your home, your homestead, foreigners as in they don't belong to that family, they don't belong to that homestead, what do? Of course this happens when you already have sharp differences within your family. When people live together, they will not all agree. That's normal. But when you're attacked by a foreigner, you're supposed to unite. Forget your differences. Deal with the foreigner first, and then you can sort out your domestic issues later. That's the right reaction. Now, it is my view that if it is indeed true there was some foreign interest in our presidential elections, that plan has been frustrated. And I can tell you this, it has not been frustrated by accident. No way. It has been frustrated by some very clever, smart people who are Kenyans and who have the interests of the country at heart. And therefore what these people did, which has left many Kenyans questioning, why wasn't so and so involved? Why wasn't this group of people there for Kenyans to discover these things and thwart them? These people allowed the things that happened to happen. Why? So as to expose this plan and expose these foreigners, and therefore give victory to the country called Kenya. Not victory to Azimio, not victory to UDA, but victory to the country called Kenya. Now, I'm very sorry, I may have lost some of you, but all you need to do is to refer back to my WIB number 83 and number 84, and you'll be able to put it all together. Very crazy stuff. Now, if you're not yet a subscriber, I believe you can see details on your screens. Please take advantage of our current offer. And you'll not only get this WIBs 83 and 84, but you'll be able to get all the others from 1 to 82. Highly sensitive intelligence information, which will help you understand our politics much better. You will no longer be naive about what is really going on. But I want to take this opportunity to make a prediction. Despite what may have happened, this one, the country called Kenya is going to win. Hands down. And also, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, and you can take this to the bank, is Raila Amolo Odinga. All for a better Kenya. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.